Hey everyone, welcome to yet another episode of the Industry Show. Joining us today is Dr. Bharat Patel. Thank you, Doc, for having us here.
Thank you for coming to my place.
Well, yeah, this is where all the surgeries happen, right?
Yes.
Well, we are in Beverly Hills and extremely happy to be here. Thanks for making time. So let's start with you. Where were you born? What did you go to school for?
I was born in Surat, Gujarat,
Yeah.
India.
Yeah.
And I did my primary, middle school, college in Surat, and then medical school in Ahmedabad.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about my schooling is when in America people talk about which school your children went, and
Yeah.
they give you few elite names,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I went to a school which didn't have a name, it had a number.
Well,
So, I tell children that it's up to you,
right.
not in the school.
Yeah. From a no-name school all the way to Beverly Hills.
Yes, I'm very, very happy and proud about it.
That is awesome. You should be. So, did you always want to be a doctor? Is that what your parents wanted?
Exactly. You gave the answer. In our culture, usually, my father was actually a medical salesman.
Okay.
So he always used to visit different doctors,
Doctors, right.
and he told me that become a surgeon.
Yeah,
They have
okay.
a more respect than
The
regular
regular-
GPs. So I was kind of programmed to be a surgeon. And
So you didn't even have the option of doctor, engineer, or lawyer. It was what kind of doctor?
Yes, exactly. No, and I'm happy about it because sometimes you let children do whatever they want, and
It doesn't work
sometimes
out.
they lose the direction.
True,
So
true.
I had a path set for me.
Right. So before we go into more of that, let's do a rapid fire round. Right.
Sure.
Any last two books that you read?
Last two books. One, the latest book I am reading right now is by Atul Gawande,
Oh yes.
Being Mortal.
Yep.
Amazing book. I am not
Mhm.
through it, but it gives you a perspective about life and
Right.
death, because
Mhm.
nobody prepares for death, and
Yes.
that book makes you
Think
help
really
you
hard
prepare
about-
for
yes.
the death. And the book I read again and again is by Mahatma Gandhi,
Mhm.
called My Experiments with Truth.
Yep.
I read it in Gujarati.
Oh,
The
wow.
name of the book is Satyana Prayogo,
Okay.
and that's the amazing book I ever read.
Mhm.
And every time you read it again and again, you get something new.
Interesting.
And I challenge everybody,
Mm-hmm.
including you and the camera people, that if you read this book, it will change you.
Okay.
I guarantee it will change you in some way.
Mhm.
You start thinking differently, you start behaving differently. That man, when you saw the Gandhi movie,
Yes.
right? And in the beginning, there is a saying that few hundred years from now,
Mhm.
nobody will ever believe that such a man in flesh and blood existed
Existed.
on the face
Yeah.
of the earth.
True.
And that is absolutely true.
That is interesting.
And I give that book as a gift to all the kids who are graduating from high school.
Wow, that's amazing.
And the third book I read again and again is called Winner Within
Mhm.
by Pat Riley. He was
Yeah.
a coach
Mhm.
of a Laker basketball
Yes.
team.
Yeah.
And in the book, basically, he writes that life is a game of basketball.
Mhm.
And you have to have certain things, principle. One is you gotta have goal,
Right.
and you must give space to the other people on your team,
Mhm.
and put your 100%. If you do
Right.
three things in life, you will be successful.
Nice. That's really awesome. So, well, we'll make a note of that and we'll share it with people who follow us. One person you have met or would have loved to meet if you haven't had the chance yet.
Same thing, Mahatma Gandhi.
Yes. Yeah.
I would love to. I really sometimes miss that I was not born and raised during that part of the history of India. I think in America, the Second World War generation, they call it the greatest generation in the
Yes.
history of America. And
Right.
for India, I think that was the
That was
greatest
the time.
generation. Actually,
Yeah.
my father was a freedom fighter with Gandhi, and he
Wow.
went to jail and all that. So that's
Nice.
in my blood.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I can see the connection there.
Yeah.
Well, you do a lot of shows and stuff, so I'll put you on the spot. What's your favorite artist?
Favorite artist, artists are of different kinds. Singing artist, my favorite is Arijit Singh.
Of course.
And of course, Kishore Kumar is everybody's to take.
Including mine.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Arijit is, I think he is going to come close to one of the greatest male playback singer in the history of Bollywood, like Mohammed Rafi or Kishore Kumar.
He's awesome. And he's here in 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
Right?
I was just going to plug in my marketing.
Well, I did it for you.
He's 7th of April. We are doing his show in Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. And we have done him before here also. And if you go on, there is a site called Ghana.com.
Yeah.
And the top 50 songs, so many songs are of Arijit Singh, So
I'm not surprised. Yeah, he's awesome. He's my favorite.
If I get a chance, I would like you to come and meet him.
I would love that. I'm looking forward to it.
Do a little interview.
We will. Sure. Absolutely will. So, we talked about you wanting to be a doctor or not having any other option than being a doctor. Tell us about the journey from, that no-name school in Surat all the way to the US.
Yeah, that's a very interesting journey. From Surat we went to Ahmedabad for medical school because Surat had only first 2 years of medical school. Then I became a general surgeon in Ahmedabad after school. But, I was raised in a moderate or not a lower class, but moderate, middle class family, and finances were always a problem.
Yes.
And in India, if you are a doctor or a surgeon and if you want to do your own practice or hospital, you need a lot of money.
Yeah. Were you the only child?
Which we didn't have it.
Were you the only child?
No, we were 5.
Oh, wow.
We were 5.
Okay. And they're all doctors?
My father was an educated guy, and he always used to tell people that I have 5 millions. This is 1 million, this is 2 million, this is 3 million. We didn't have money, but he said I have 5 millions. And he was right in, you look future forward.
Yeah.
We all did very good. So
nice. Were they all doctors? Were all your siblings?
3 doctors and 2 engineers.
Oh wow! Well, you're a Patel. Nobody has hotels.
Yeah, that's the only unfortunate story about me is I am a Patel without a motel.
You can work on that. You have time.
No, but recently I was listening to TV and you know about a guy named Warren Buffett, right?
Yeah.
He has a partner called Charlie Munger.
Yes.
And they ask him that why you are not in hospitality business.
Right.
He says, how can you be in hospitality business? Because those Patels, they clean the motel, they are in the front desk, their family keeps on coming from India and Africa and buy more and more motels. They run it so efficiently. He says, I cannot make money like they make. And
he's a smart guy.
Coming from Charlie Munger, it's an attribute to Patel.
It is. It is. Amazing guy. Were you at the session they held in, what was it, Pasadena a couple months ago?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Okay. So, you've had this center for many decades now. Give us a scope of your operations. You have one facility here, one in Downey.
Yeah, this is a surgical center. We have all kinds of surgeons come here and perform different kinds of surgeries, and we have state-of-the-art, equipments here, lasers and robotics and ultrasounds, and so these are outpatient surgeries. But nowadays we do some big surgeries also. If patient go home the same day, and we have Jewish, Mexican, American, Indian, Bangladeshi, Pakistani, all kinds of surgeons work here. And I have a facility in Downey. It's a multi-speciality clinic where patients come for examination, lab work, ultrasound. The best thing about these 2 facilities is we use it for free clinics and free surgeries.
Right, with ALAPIO.
And this is the main thing I want to talk to you about today.
Yeah.
Bollywood is good, it's fun, but when after all these years of success, we realize that we are successful because of this country, because of the people of this country, and apart from our education back home also.
Yes.
We need to give back to this society.
Absolutely.
Also.
Yep.
And there are people here who needs it. I have seen patients who can't afford anything.
Right.
Surgeries, clinics, medicine, eyeglasses, hearing aids, and there are quite a few people like that. Right now we have 600 to 800 people on the waiting list for surgery, for free surgeries.
Wow.
Because they can't afford. We do big surgeries on patients who don't have money for completely free.
Right.
every month we do about 10 surgeries.
Wow.
And we love that we are talking to some other places, and we might increase that number from 10 to 20 to 30.
Amazing.
Because we need to do that. And that is the most exciting day in my life, is when we do free surgeries here, because I know that day I'm not working for money.
Right.
I'm working for something higher than that.
Yes.
You know.
I agree. So is this the same as, you also started ALAPIO, which is the Association of Los Angeles Physicians of Indian Origin?
That's right.
Is that under the same purview, or you do this through the center?
No, ALAPIO is the core organization, and ALAPIO's main mission is to health and well-being of all. And free surgeries and free clinics are done under ALAPIO banner. And ALAPIO physicians help me in the clinics and surgeries, and actually it has become a multicultural affair.
Right.
Few times we did surgeries here where the patient was Hispanic, the surgeon was Jewish, the anesthesiologist was Indian, and the people assisting were from Mexico.
Wow, that is amazing.
So it's a multicultural affair, and we don't have any bar. Like if you need it, we'll do it.
Right.
And we go out of our ways also. Like one patient needed some more surgeries which cannot be done here, so we found a place for her to do surgery in a hospital, and we paid for that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because we started her treatment, and we can't just abandon her.
Yes.
So she went to San Diego, and we found a surgeon there, and we negotiated a discounted rate, but she is very happy. So
that is amazing.
Yeah,
I saw something, I forget if it was outside ALAPIO's tagline. One of the things it said, health without bills, or something to that effect. It was
ALAPIO heals without bills.
Yeah, heals without bills. Right.
Yes. Yeah, usually doctors, for doctor it is saying that God heals and doctor bills.
Right.
But ALAPIO heals without bills.
That is amazing. So, relating to that and also to the clinic, you have a strong network of physicians and doctors. Give us a context of that. You mentioned about 400 doctors?
Yes, we in greater Southern California area, we have like total about 1,500 Indian doctors, but the greater Los Angeles area, we have about 400 doctors. Right. And ALAPIO, we welcome doctors from anywhere.
Right.
If they are willing to travel, we have the scalpel for them, so they can do surgeries.
Right.
But the main thing is we have different, particularly the Indian doctor, they never become general doctors.
Right.
They always become specialized.
Right.
I recently read somewhere that one of the United States presidents said one time that when I think of Indian, I think brain. George Bush Jr. said that. So we are all specialists, and we have doctors in USC, UCLA, Cedar Sinai, UC Irvine, all universities, topmost positions are by Indian doctors. True. So we arrange monthly meetings, continuous medical education meetings, and we invite one of those doctors from universities to come and give a talk, and they are very gracious to come over and do it without charging us anything, and our doctors get educated also.
Right.
So that's our another mission, is to educate physicians and public in general.
Okay. So I'm going to pause here for a second and ask you this question. Who is Bharat Patel? Is he a doctor? Is he an investor, a stand-up comedian, entertainer, philanthropist? Like what do you, and obviously you're a husband, a father, grandfather, so many other things. So how do you define yourself?
No, if somebody really asks me how are you gonna want to be known or be defined, two things: a stand-up comedian and a grandfather.
Okay. So
rest of the things came by my education and my nature and all that, but I work hard to be a comedian. It's not easy.
Right.
You have to prepare. Like if I have to perform on a stage, I work on it, and I get nervous, and I get up in the morning and memorize and everything. And being grandfather is most amazing thing ever happened to me. I have 2 grandchildren, and last night they spent night with me, and we had a lot of fun.
That is awesome.
I'm looking forward to. Life is good.
It is. So, put you on the spot. Give us a few lines of your stand-up. I mean, it could be whatever, but
like I'll it's difficult for me to do stand-up sitting down, but I'll do it.
Okay. Well, we'll put you in difficult spots.
Let's do. I went to the restaurant yesterday.
Okay.
With my family, and everybody had a phone in their hand, and suddenly I looked on the wall. There was a sign which says, "We don't have Wi-Fi. Please talk to each other." I read somewhere also that alcohol is not the solution to all your problems. So then I called the manager, why you put the sign? He said, because I personally believe that milk and water also is not solution for everything. And actually alcohol is a solution, chemically speaking.
True.
I used to do a lot of ethnic jokes and a lot of political jokes, but I'm backing off, but I can't help it.
Because of Trump?
Trump gives a lot of material. I cannot tell you I'm for Trump or against Trump, but he gives a lot of material for comedy.
True.
When he became president, they gave him a tour of the White House.
Yeah.
They first took him to Lincoln bedroom. He liked it. He said President Lincoln was amazing president. Then they took him to Kennedy ballroom.
Yeah.
And that room was also, he said, amazing. Then they took him to Oval Office. He looked around, he was impressed, and he told his assistant, I remembered President Oval was a good president.
That is funny.
But like Joe Biden is running, may run for president everybody is wondering whether he will or not. But he is like a kid who is playing hide and seek, but he is hiding behind a transparent curtain.
Yeah.
Find me. The best thing is about Hillary Clinton. I cannot tell you if I voted for her or not, because I wanted to vote for lesser evil. But Hillary went to a bar, and there was a bartender asked her, what can I get for you? She said, anything but a white Russian. But lately I stopped doing ethnic jokes because most of the ethnicity people are my friends, and some of them take it seriously. So what I do is now I tell jokes about Patels. I can always make fun of myself, right? Yeah. And in the audience, if there are other Patel, I tell them this is not for you. Like I had a girlfriend before. We were going steady. And I said, we should get married. And she said, yes, we should get married. And then suddenly she says, we have one problem. So I said, what is the problem? She says, I am 1 year older than you. So I said, it's okay, I can wait 1 more year. Somebody asked me, what is your son doing? I said, he is in medical school. So he says, what is he studying? He is not studying anything, they are studying him. So I can keep on going for hour, 2 hours,
So you don't even need to prepare. You're just
not
ready.
at all, not at all. Yeah, just think about different subjects.
The
No,
sitting
I
down
organize in my computer. I organize all kinds of jokes, one-liners into different categories like Gujarati jokes, Hindi jokes, love jokes, sex jokes, all kind of. So whenever I'm performing, I first find out what kind of audience I have. And depending on that, I prepare the material, put it on one piece of paper with one word will trigger the whole thing in my mind.
Right. And then
I memorize that whole paper as a photographic memory.
Wow.
So when I'm performing, I can pick and choose anything I want from that paper, because sometimes it happens that you start with something and everybody is staring at you.
Right.
And
then
instead of getting nervous, I just jump to the other part of the paper, and it works.
Nice. So know your customer, right? All comes down to knowing who your customer is.
Exactly.
Okay. So you're an entrepreneur, and many years ago, my mentor said a successful entrepreneur needs to know 3 things, right? They need to know how to sell. They need to know how to get, and then they need to deliver on what they have sold, and then they need to get paid, right? And for these 3 things, some people are good at some of those things, some people learn as they go. So what's been your personal experience?
Yeah, all along my life I have been always reading and telling people that when you want to sell a product, either one of the two things you should have: a killer product
Yeah.
or a killer management.
Yes.
Second class product with a killer management will be successful
Right.
also.
Yeah.
And how you develop that product,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be competitive. Okay, everybody is competitive, but you gotta have a creative visualization.
Right.
That's I read a book, I forgot the name of the author, and the whole book was about creative visualization.
Mm-hmm.
And that author was in Mumbai, and he says, when I was 14-year-old, I had this thing in my mind that I want to buy a Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
And with the process of creative visualization, he broke it down into pieces, and each piece how to accomplish it. And he said, eventually, when I was 21, I had a Porsche.
Oh, is this the guy who kind of swapped things out and finally got to the car?
No, he
Okay.
a lot of other things he
Okay.
did, but like anything you want to do, you start thinking in your
Visualizing
mind
it,
and
yeah.
visualize and make each segment. How can I make it happen
Yes.
in real life? Just
Mhm.
and it works. It worked for me.
Mhm.
Another simple thing I do is if something I want to do and little difficult, I tell 5 people that I am going to do this. Then there is so much pressure on me
yes.
to do
Yeah.
it, and and then I do it. It
It works,
happens.
yeah.
So it has worked for me.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different way of working things,
Right.
but
Okay.
never give up. That is another thing. Never give up.
So what drives you? I mean, what is your motivation? Are you looking for some sort of validation from someone, or you trying to prove something for yourself?
No, I don't think I want to prove it to anybody,
Mm-hmm.
but that's my inner thing.
Mhm.
Inner drive is to be successful, and I think it came from my parents and people I observed that I whatever adversity comes along my way, I always think that my glass is half full,
Yes.
so that depressing part never stops me.
Right.
I'm always trying to do it, and sometimes I get carried away and do
Too
more
much.
than I should,
Right.
and some other things suffer. But
Mhm.
I think basically that strategy works.
Well, that's the quest, right? Finding the balance between too little, too much, and then
Right.
being able to do enough. So, how has your Indian upbringing, impacted? You mentioned your parents had a lot of influence on you, but working with a lot of these different ethnicities, is there a sense for you to realize, how you being Indian and your upbringing has impacted your decisions?
So it affects everybody's decision. That is that upbringing. But being Indian, we have certain very, very different qualities than rest of the
Right.
other ethnicities, and one is a combined family, so we are
Yeah.
family people.
Yeah.
And like I have 40-50 people in this world of United States from my own family, and
Mhm.
I tell my children that these are our people. We gotta take care of them, whether
Right.
they like you or not, whether
Yes.
they talk bad about you or
Yeah.
not, because that's our family.
You're
So,
stuck with them.
yeah, take care of them.
Right.
And when some people write me after 10 years that I need this, and I know that person said this thing about me, but no questions asked.
Yeah.
Take care of that.
Right. Right. So, talking about your investing, background, you are a successful investor. Do you also invest in others or startups that are looking for funding?
Yes, do you? This is a very good story right now. You ask a good question. Next week, Lyft is coming with a
Yes, IPO. Yeah.
I am pre-IPO in Lyft,
Wow.
Uber, Airbnb, Flipkart. I love those technology companies
That
with
is
a
awesome.
concept which is so good, like Uber and Lyft going to
Yeah.
be ubiquitous,
Yes.
and it's going to be good financially as well as you feel good that you participated in
Yes,
it. Yeah.
that is awesome.
Yep.
Congrats. So,
And as I told you, we run an investment club also for last 13 years.
yes.
We have about 40 families, and
Mhm.
we meet once a month, and we talk. We have doctors, engineers, business people, and only one condition: we don't take stockbrokers in the club because they try to,
Yeah.
tell
influence.
your company's views only.
Right.
And we are very successful. We have more return than any other
Yeah, you
brokerage
beat
houses.
S&P, right?
We beat
Yeah.
always. Yeah.
That is awesome. So, kind of delving further into that, what has been your investment philosophy? I mean, you said, technology is obviously something that you like.
So investment philosophy evolves as you grow.
Of course. Right.
And after all these years, basic things come back to play.
Right.
One is called asset allocation.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have stock market,
Yeah.
bond market, real
Mhm.
estate, art.
Right.
Cash is also an asset kind,
Yes. Yeah.
And second thing is diversification.
Mhm.
In like stock market,
Right.
you just don't put everything in the
In
technology.
one, yeah.
But at the same time, you have to pay attention to what is the popular sector right now.
Right.
Like if
Yeah.
you right now invest in utilities, you won't make
Mhm.
money. So
True.
technology, finance, healthcare, these are
Mhm.
right now very popular.
Right.
So, and I also am a kind of I take risk also.
Of course.
Like 90% of the money are in good, well thought after
Right.
equipments or instruments.
Mhm.
But 10% I go for speculation based on some concept or an idea,
Yeah.
and it works. Lately it's moral or not, but marijuana stocks are doing very good.
True.
And
Yeah.
I was in it a year now.
Oh wow.
So
You're
I
an
did
early
very
mover.
good.
Yeah.
So it is kind of aggressive, not speculative,
Right.
because I personally think that is going to be legalized nationally.
Right.
And
Yeah.
worldwide there will be so much demand that
Mhm.
those stocks going to be 10, 20, 100
Right.
times their value now.
True.
So,
Yeah, and that's a good balance, right? You don't want to be extremely conservative. You got to take those risks. What are you most excited about right now in life in general? It doesn't have to be anything specific.
there is no one thing. I get excited about everything. In the morning when I come here, they always ask me, "Doctor, you look happy." And I said, because it's a new day. In the
True.
morning it might be raining
True.
outside, but
Yes.
I'm hopeful
Yeah.
that good things will happen and I will be able to take part into it.
That is awesome. That's a very optimistic, positive outlook on life. in
Yeah,
general.
that's the way I think I recommend everybody should do that, because being negative or getting depressed is not
Pulls
helpful
you
to
back.
anybody.
True.
Yes.
True. So we got a question, and it kind of relates to another question that I have. What advice do you have for generations ahead? Right.
Well, I don't have any advice, but I'm predicting that generations ahead gonna go do a lot better than what we are doing right now.
We hope so. Yes.
Because human race is advancing, technology is advancing, values are increasing. Actually,
Mhm.
if you look at it right now, the world is at the most peaceful time in the
Yes,
history of
it is.
human civilization.
True.
And there is no other way. People will stop fighting because they figured out already that fighting doesn't help.
It doesn't help. Yes.
So just believe in yourself. That is number one. Be enthusiastic and don't yourself get pulled by other people.
Mhm.
Just do what you think is right, and you will be successful.
Anything, kind of boiling it down a little more, anything specific that you want to share with entrepreneurs or people who want to become entrepreneurs?
No, it's multiple things. You just use your skills and enthusiasm and hopes and work on it,
Yeah.
and get people part of your team rather than compete with them or keep them out.
Yeah.
If your friend is helpful to you, just make him your partner 10%, 20%, and
True.
go along with many people and you will go far.
Right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Doctor. And this has been a pleasure.
It's over? I was having fun.
Yeah, I would love to continue this.
Right. No. Thanks for coming, and we'll do it again sometime. But
Absolutely.
I'm going to
yes.
work on, maybe you can meet Arijit and interview him.
Would love that.
Next week. Yeah.
That'd be our pleasure.
All right. Thank you, Nitin.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
With
Thank you.
camera people, Mohini and Manisha.
Right.
Nahin,
Nimisha.
Nimisha.
Right.